Okay, so case 7, that's your lexicographic with lexicographic preferences. So both the preferences being lexicographic. So before I begin this case, I need to discuss what are lexicographic preferences. Okay, uh, so what are yeah, so what are lexicographic preferences? Okay, so word lexico comes from the word dictionary. Okay, so this is related to dictionary. So suppose there are goods, let's say X1 and X2, okay, or rather let's just call X and Y. Then we say that agent A lexicographically prefers good X if given any two bundles X1 and Y1 and X2 and Y2, he prefers the bundle X1 Y1 if condition 1 is X1 is greater than X2. Okay, so if X1 is greater than X2, I straight away only pick the first bundle. I don't even look at what are the amounts of uh, good Y. Or the second condition is X1 equal to X2 and X, sorry, Y1 greater than Y2. Okay. So, if the amount of good X is same, then I look at what is the amount of good Y. So first I look at good X, and if good X is more in one bundle, I directly choose that bundle. If good X is equal in two bundles, then I look at what is the quantity of good Y. Okay, so a good example of this is Olympic gold medal tally. Okay, so suppose there are two countries A and B. Okay, and the gold, silver and bronze tally of these two nations, they look like this. Okay, suppose nation 1 has 0 gold, but it has 100 silver medals and 100 bronze medals. Okay, agent sorry country B on the other hand has one gold, no silver and no bronze. Okay, so even though it might feel that country A has definitely performed way better than country B, but when it comes to the medal tally, country B will be ranked higher. That's because it has more gold medals than country A. Okay, but as soon as country A wins one gold medal, okay, as soon as country A wins one gold medal, then what will happen is that country A will rise in the rankings, because now if you compare just the gold medals, they are same, but silver is more for country B. Okay, on the other hand, let's say country B, it wins 101 silver medals. Okay, so now gold is same, so then you come to silver. So first priority is given to gold. You check the see the number of gold medals. If number of gold medals is same, then second priority is silver. Then you check the number of silver medals. So silver medals is higher for B, so B will be ranked higher. So countries keep shifting their positions depending on how much medals they win, and this kind of shifting could be very sudden. Okay, so suppose there are uh, suppose there are 50 nations with just one gold and 50 nations with just one silver and 50 nations with just one bronze, and then there are 50 nations with no medals. Okay, so suppose there's some country A which is here, some country B which is here, some country C which is here, and some country D which belongs to this group. Now if this country D wins one gold medal, it will straight away surpass all the countries like B and C, and it will be in the league of countries A. So the jump could be sudden in case of lexicographic preferences. So that's why lexicographic preferences are not continuous. Okay, so we talked about continuity of preferences when we discussed the first lecture of microeconomics. So let's go back to that discussion. So I said at that point of time that continuity basically implies that if you have two bundles A and B such that A is strictly preferred to B, okay, then if you construct circles around A and B and take any bundle A prime here and any bundle B prime here, then you would have A prime also strictly preferred to B prime. Okay, this circle must be sufficiently small. So for a sufficiently small circle, any deviation from A would still be preferred to any deviation from B. The deviation has to be small. So for a sufficiently small circle, okay, so the idea is this red circle should be sufficiently small. Okay, so in that situation, any bundle in this circle around A, any bundle in this circle around A will be more preferred to any bundle in the circle around B. Okay, so that's continuity. So now I want to prove that lexicographic preferences are not continuous. Okay, so show that lexicographic preferences are not continuous. So suppose that is what I need to show. Okay. So let's proceed with an example. So let's assume that there's an agent A who lexicographically prefers X to Y. Okay, so he's lexicographing going to prefer good X. So let's construct a consumption set. On this consumption set, let's mark our goods as Y and yeah, let's mark the goods as Y and X. Okay. Now let's take a vertical line. Okay, let's take this vertical line. Let's give it a color red. Okay, now on this vertical line, I'm going to take two bundles. This is bundle A, which is basically XA comma YA, and this is bundle B, which is XB comma YB. Okay, now bundle A and bundle B are on the same vertical line. So what I have is that XA should be equal to XB. Okay, but since point B is above, then this implies that YB should be greater than YA. Okay, which implies that the bundle B should be strictly preferred to bundle A. Okay, uh, so what does the definition say? The definition says that if one bundle is strictly preferred, then you can construct a sufficiently small circle around B and a sufficiently small circle around A, such that all bundles in this sufficiently small circle B, all values in this sufficiently small bundle B should be more preferred to all values in this sufficiently small bundle A. Alright, that's the definition of continuity. But now let me take a bundle in this circle which is to the left of B like this, B prime, and a bundle to the right of A which is A prime. Okay, so bundle B is to the left of B. So this implies that if this bundle is XB prime comma YB prime, and if this bundle A prime is XA prime comma YA prime, Okay, so you had xa equals to xb. Now you would have xb prime will be less than xb, which is equal to xa, which is less than xa prime, which implies that xb prime will be less than xa prime, which implies that the bundle b prime will be less preferred to the bundle a prime. Okay, so you have that b prime is more preferred to a prime, but sorry, b more preferred to a, but b prime less preferred to a prime. So this violates the condition of continuity.
Assumption of continuity.
Sorry.
हाँ sir, assumption of continuity.
Yeah, this violates the condition of continuity. So that's why your lexicographic preferences are not continuous. Okay, so remember that we said that for preferences to be represented as a utility function, they need to obey three properties. Okay, so they needed to obey three different properties. The properties were completeness, transitivity, and continuity. Okay, so lexicographic preferences, they obey completeness, they obey transitivity, but they do not obey continuity. Implies there could be no utility function to represent your lexicographic preferences. Okay, so there is going to be no utility function for this. So अगर utility function ही नहीं है तो using mathematics and solving for optima is no longer an option, because you can only apply mathematics and calculus if there is some function. If there's no utility function to begin with, you cannot apply all your ideas of maths. uh, let's talk about indifference curves of lexicographic preferences. Okay, so the claim is that ICs of lexicographic preferences are singleton sets. Okay, this is the claim. So according to the claim, lexicographic preferences के ICs are going to be singleton sets. Singleton sets means sets that contain just one element. Okay, uh, so to give you an example, if you had root xy, the ICs look like this. So for any IC, you had this point, this point, this point, this point. Suppose this was utility level 4 IC. So all these points were belonging to the utility level 4 IC. So the IC of utility 4 had infinite points. It had all these points in its set. Okay, so we are saying that all ICs of lexicographic preferences will be singleton sets. So I am going to prove that. So let's assume the contradiction of this. Let's assume the opposite of this, that there exists an IC for some lexicographic preferences which has two distinct points, x1 y1 and x2 y2. Okay, so I'm saying that assume that there is some IC which is not a singleton set, so it should have at least 2 points. So if I'm contradicting the fact that it is a singleton set, then I need to assume that it has at least 2 points. Okay, so I'm saying that there is some IC which has two distinct points, x1 x2 and y1 y2. Okay, so if x1 x2 and y1 y2 are lying on the same IC, then they should obey that x1 y1 should be indifferent to x2 y2. That's the definition of indifference curve. Indifference curve can only contain points which are indifferent to each other. Okay, so hypothetically I'm saying that there is some IC on which there are 2 points, at least 2 points, x1 y1, and x2, y2. I do not know what the shape of the IC is, but I'm just claiming that I'm assuming that there's some IC which has at least two distinct points, x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, since these points lie in an IC, they need to be indifferent to each other. Okay. Now, if x1, y1 and x2, y2 are indifferent to each other, this implies that x1 should be equal to x2. Because if x1, x2 are not same, then one of these bundles automatically becomes more preferred. Okay. And y1 should also be equal to y2. Because again, if x1, y2, x1, x2 is same and y1, y2 is also same, uh, sorry, if x1 x2 is same and but y1 y2 are different, then again one of the bundles is going to be more preferred. Okay, so if two bundles are indifferent, they should have the same x value, they should have the same y value. Now if x1 is same as x2 and y1 is same as y2, this implies that the point x1 y1 is same as the point y1 y2. Okay, now if the points are same, it negates the claim that there are two distinct points. It negates that they are distinct points. अगर x coordinate y coordinate same मैंने prove कर दिया, this implies that they are not distinct points. Okay, so it negates the assumption. So that's why you can prove that the ICs are going to be singleton set. So no indifference curve will have multiple points in it. Okay, so the bottom line of this discussion is that the IC of a lexicographic preference is just point. Every point is a IC. Okay, every point is an indifference curve in itself, because that is the only point uh, which it is indifferent to. So every point is indifferent only to itself. So, so you have two ways of saying this. One way is ki ICs do not exist. The other way is ki ICs exist, but every point is an IC in itself. So economists chose the argument that every point is an indifference curve in itself. Now you might argue that why is it a curve if it is only a point? So that's basically that the name indifference curve is a curve, but it need not always be a curve. Okay, it is basically a set. It need not always be a curve. नाम misleading है थोड़ा indifference curves का. So ICs are no longer curves. ICs are just singleton sets. So every point is a different IC. Now, in case of your root XY, we could have said that this is IC for utility level 4. But now these ICs do not have a utility level because there is no utility function itself. Okay, so there is no rule of utilities, and ICs, by being singleton sets, they also become very redundant. So all our ideas of drawing ICs or mathematically solving indifference curves, they are all rendered useless in the field of lexicographic preferences. So that's why working with them is not challenging, but it's different from working with other kind of functions. So that's why exams like these functions a lot. So now let's look at how to work with lexicographic preferences.